How GBT is going to influence intuitive content creators. Hi, my name is Leah Chantel. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today I'm going to get into how technology changes are going to impact intuitive psychics or mediums who are teaching online. So my message as an intuitive coach has been pretty specific about boundaries. I have a unique message that us as intuitives, we tend to be really compassionate people. We tend to have open hearts and be really generous and see the best in people. And sometimes that works really well for us in workplace situations. We know how to get along with a lot of people. We can make friends easily. And then there are other times where we may get involved with the wrong partner because we have such an open, intuitive, generous heart that we see the potential in somebody who's a little bit abusive or doesn't have the best intentions, right? And how does this all connect and relate to GBT? GBT is going to influence this whole area because the traditional messages that a lot of intuitive psychic and medium professionals are teaching, they're basically going to become obsolete because the chat program is going to be able to synthesize all that information that's being taught and put it out there for a really low price, right? And so the typical courses on things like chakras or the tools of the trade that intuitive psychics and mediums typically talk about, while they're still valuable and good to teach and include in packages, if you're only going to teach the basics, basically those classes are going to be obsolete from technology. And I think some of the leading psychics and intuitives and mediums can see this, and they've either offered these courses complimentary, for free, or for very discounted prices because we know that this is no longer like unique, valuable information, at least in the same way that it used to be. It's still valuable. It's still wonderful for people to know about these tools and to understand how the whole system works. But the information is out there and it's free. And it's not only going to influence people who are in the spiritual field, it's going to even influence people like people in corporate communications, people in universities. Even Google had an emergency meeting when GBT came out, wondering if they are going to become obsolete because of GBT. It's such a far-reaching implication in terms of technology that we all need to be aware of it, regardless of what field we're in. If we're a communicator, if we're a content creator, we need to be aware that potentially our teaching is going to become knocked down to a very low price or be given away for free by technology. Now, how are you going to overcome this? Well, after years of study and teaching, I realized as an intuitive, my biggest lesson and my biggest teaching for everybody out there is to teach about boundaries. And fortunately, that is still something that not a lot of people teach. There are some psychology books out there on it, but even those books are not tailored to people who have different spiritual beliefs that are really valuable and really motivating and help enhance people's lives. I mean, that's why we teach the tools. That's why we teach people to be intuitive, so they feel empowered at home, so they feel spiritually connected without being dependent on going to a group of people to follow. Not that there's anything wrong with being involved in a community. I'm involved in a local community myself in yoga, and I really like them. They're really nice people. But I also have a sense of autonomy in my spirituality. If someone in the group were really nasty and I didn't want to go there anymore, it would be very easy for me to walk away because I have a set of spiritual tools that I can use from home. I'm simply going out there because I really like the community and it's a nice way to socialize with like-minded people. And that's the way it should be when we engage with the community. It should always be our choice and our generosity of spirit to share with others, but it should never be an obligation. It should never be something where you're so boxed in that there's going to be dire consequences if you leave. We already have that in our lives, a lot of us, and that's called our day job, right? We don't need more commitments like that where we feel necessarily bonded for life. Maybe the one exception is something like our family relationships or marriage. And I think even those, are good to make them last if you can and they're healthy. But if they're not going well and you can't particularly control the negativity, I would also say, like, don't be afraid to walk away from those relationships either. You know, the important thing in life is you want to be spiritually connected, empowered, happy, and that's what I teach people, spiritual autonomy. So that wherever you go in your life, you're not going there looking to have your cup filled up by other people. You're going to share your cup that's overflowing to other people. And that's the way it should be when you're teaching online too. The thing to overcome with ChatGPT, if you don't want it to ruin your business or your career, is you have to be more generous, more creative, and more innovative in the way that you teach. You need to find a way to fuse your teachings together in a way that's tailored to your audience, that's valuable to your audience, that's unique, and at the same time valuable to your audience, and yet something that hasn't been done before. And you need to work on your presentation style, and you need to work on your camera presence in order to make it engaging and entertaining for your audience to watch you too. ChatGPT cannot recreate a person and their energy that they put out in the world, right? And so if you have that nailed, if you're going out into the world generous with a positive spirit and you're going into the world to teach from a place that's basically unconditionally loving, although it's good to have boundaries, and that is another video that I'll talk about more about discernment with boundaries, you are going to have a beautiful teaching, a beautiful practice that you can share with other people online. And you don't need to be as afraid of the technological changes that are coming, but you do need to be aware of them. One way that I am going to deal with ChatGPT and the changes that are upcoming is that I'm going to share a lot of content for free online that is very commonly taught by a lot of intuitive, psychic, medium type people anyway, where they normally charge whatever, $200, $300 for the course. I'm just gonna upload everything I know for free, and people are gonna say that's crazy, you shouldn't do that, because you should be creating content that people pay for, so you can make a living. And of course, it is something I endeavor to do. But I realized that some of these courses like chakras, the 7 chakras that, for example, are your energy centers in your body that go from your hips all the way up to your head, and it's taught in a lot of traditions. And it's a long story to discuss in this one video, but it's now becoming very commonly taught. Even a lot of yoga studios know about the chakras now and incorporate that into yoga practice. And so I feel it's appropriate to give this information away for free and to put my own spin on it and talk about how it's helped serve me in my life. Some people will learn about the chakras and they'll go, why does it matter to me? Why does it make a difference in my life? And what they can do is give you a roadmap of how to be healthy, happy, and whole in your life. If something is not working for you in your life and you're not quite sure why, going through it in an organized manner through the chakra system and understanding which chakra could be out of balance for you could be very, very valuable to help you find the tools that are appropriate for fixing the problem. One problem for one person may look a certain way, and then it can look completely different to another person. For example, a woman who's out of shape and who wants to get into shape, her journey might be very different than a gentleman who's out of shape and wants to get into shape. And that's not necessarily because of gender, it's because of their unique life experience, that maybe there is some different chakra that's out of order for each of them. Maybe one woman is overweight because she wants to protect herself from sexual abuse, and so the extra weight is a protective measure to stop people from touching her. Whereas for a gentleman, maybe he is overweight because he was praised as a kid for his skill on the computer And that's what he wants to spend his life focusing on. He doesn't want to go to the gym where he doesn't feel so praised and validated and so on. So even though it's the same problem, the psychological perspective behind it and the different chakras that could potentially be involved are completely different. And that's why it's such a valuable tool to put out there for free. And so I hope you kind of appreciated where I'm coming from with ChatGPT. I think the strategy to overcome the ChatGPT problem is to put more common content on the internet for free and be more generous, be more innovative, and when you do come up with paid products, make them tailor-made and unique for people that they want to consume it, to make them have real results in their life. And then the third strategy is to work on your energy and your presence online, because a robot can never really replace a human being with wonderful energy who wants to share with the world. I hope that all makes sense. If you like this video, please click like, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'm gonna put up even more unique content videos about intuition and psychic ability, like the real stuff, not the fake stuff, because the real stuff is amazing and lovely and will change your life. And yeah, and the other stuff, don't worry about it. So I hope you're all having a beautiful day and take care. Bye now.